Oh man, we lost him. Welcome back to Green Machine Outdoors. This is Dan and we are on the James River. We are in a 24-hour tournament. We'll tell you all about it right after this. But we are in a 24-hour kayak catfish tournament. I'm trying to catch 3 nice fish today. It's got to happen between midnight and midnight. So we're already out here. It's about 9 o'clock. I've got 2 fish on the board. I lost one right at the boat, but he was tiny anyway. Big thing in a tournament like this is just to get your limit in as quickly as possible so you can spend the rest of your time trying to upgrade. I'm gonna put a little bit more time into this lower James spot. I'm down in Jamestown right now, and we might be moving pretty soon back up to where I normally fish. So check it out. Here's a couple fish to start your video off with. We got our first hit of the morning up here when the ferry's running by. Fighting a pretty strong current, and who knows what kind of fish here. Probably nothing too crazy. Just caught up in the current. He's down at about 60 feet right now. So we'll take our time getting him up here. He's been playing with this thing for 10 or 15 minutes and then he finally committed to it. Should be light here pretty soon for a little bit better filming. I'm just hoping I don't get caught up in all my lines. The current's so strong it's pushing everything to the front of the boat. So all my lines are way up here. Luckily I think he's swimming to the top. Yeah, he's way out there at the surface. Okay, let's get this fish in the boat. Get him out of that current. Alright, so it's a 28.5-inch blue cat. We're going to send him on back and get that piece of carp back down there for him. We've had fish toying with this back rod for the past 10 minutes and I think one's finally hooked up. It's just going to be a little dink, but hopefully we taught him a lesson at least. Yep. Alright, we're hooked up back here on the ferry bite. The ferry's coming on in and here's a fishy. Hopefully another rod or two goes down as well. Oh man, we lost him. That's all right, he was just a little guy. All right, so we are making the executive decision here to get on up and move spots. We're gonna pack things up, move back into some territory I'm more familiar with. You saw those couple fish we caught so far, but not really satisfied with the amount of bites I'm getting or the quality of the bites, so we're gonna go try something else. We'll be back in a minute. All right, we just got a really big takedown up front here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this thing in spot lock just in case he has any buddies around. This has been a very productive spot for us before. I didn't even have a chance to let you know what's going on here, but you can tell we've moved spots. I went about 40 miles upriver and I launched, and the first spot I went to I'm just about right at high tide. The first spot I went to, I dropped my first rod in the water, and it was getting hit before I even turned around and put my other rod in the water. So it was looking very promising, but it's been a little quiet since. So then I came up river, and I'm doing a little drift and suspending, and just kind of whenever I see something cool underneath the water, I stop. And I had marked some fish right here, and I saw a lot of traffic in and out of this barge pit on the other side of the camera. So I decided to just anchor up for a minute. And then it wasn't really working for me, so I started drifting again. And that's when this guy came along. Okay, that's a nice 25.5-inch fish. He's gonna help out a lot. We're gonna get him back in the water. And we're gonna continue on with that drift. It's the middle of the day, there's not a whole lot going on. We'll be back out tonight. Well, it's not the nicest of evenings out here on the James River. I came back out about 6 o'clock, a little bit before dark. Got out to a main channel ledge, didn't have much luck out there. Marking tons of big fish, not really hooking up with anything. Tons of different baits out there. I had some carp, I had some eel, I had some gizzard shad, nice and fresh. I just caught it. Nothing really working. That was all suspend drifting / trolling. And then I switched tactics. I came over into a river bend and I started dragging baits. Within 5 minutes, I hooked into a 42-incher. I wish I could show them to you. I'll put a picture of them in the video here, but it's just way too dark, rainy, and windy for me to try and do any kind of filming. But I did want to update that and get that in the video, because I know you've been following along all day. Let's see what else we can do. We just started dragging baits. Hopefully it keeps putting fish in the boat. Well, we hope you enjoyed following along for that 24-hour tournament. They're not always the most exciting thing in the world. It can be difficult to find some fish, get on them, and get them in the boat, all in a very limited amount of time. So I ended up taking 3 trips, 2 in the morning and 1 in the evening. And between the 3 of those all together, I was able to put up just enough inches to squeak out a win. I had a really big fish later in the night, that 42-incher, but I was sweating it out all day. I was not anywhere near the top. There were a couple guys with much better scores than me. And then once I posted my fish, I ended up with 96 inches. I typically like to be over 100 inches before I start feeling a little bit comfortable in a 24-hour tournament, and I didn't quite make it there. So I just sit around all day Sunday and watch the leaderboard and see what was happening. If you liked what you saw today, go ahead and give us a thumbs up button so you can follow along on our ventures, and subscribe to that channel. We appreciate it. Until next time, I think it's time for you to giddy up on out of here.